We're back with another success story interview with the keyword golden ratio. Today we talked to Nick. Nick has been able to reach about $1,500 a month using the keyword golden ratio. Nick is a full-time traveling musician, so this Amazon affiliate site is a great way for him to, earn a little extra money in his downtime, and the passive aspect is really outstanding for him. Nick lets us know about how much traffic he's getting to get to $1,500 a month, and actually it surprised me how well his site is being monetized per visitor, so that's pretty impressive. Nick tells us 2 big mistakes that he's made and what he learned from them, so hopefully you won't make the same mistakes. And overall, Nick is a great example of just being persistent and pushing past the hurdles over time. And I mean, he's been at this for a little while, but it's only been in the last 6 months or so when it really clicked for him. So before we get to the interview, I just want to let you know there's a link in the description for the Keyword Golden Ratio Masterclass if you want to, learn how to implement the Keyword Golden Ratio and a lot of the details behind it. So check out that playlist if you're interested. Also, if you're interested in starting an Amazon affiliate site, there's a link to my site, Niche Site Project, so you can check out some details about how to start a site and how I approach it myself. So let's get to the interview with Nick. Hey, what's up? I'm Doug, and I'm sitting with my friend here, Nick. Welcome, Nick. How are you doing today?
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. Really appreciate you coming on to share your story. And I just want to jump directly into the results and tell everybody why you're here. So can you tell me, I guess it's June 2018 right now. So can you tell me how May was for your Amazon affiliate site?
So May was the first month that my affiliate website made over $1,500. And I would say I've been going pretty hard on this for the last 6 months.
Cool. And what was the traffic like, if you happen to recall, in May?
Traffic in May was about 7,500 unique visitors.
Okay, cool. So $1,500, first time over that. Congratulations. That's a
Thank you.
Huge milestone. And I know, we've talked a little bit ahead of time. So I know you're on a very nice growth curve. So hopefully, you'll continue moving up. We do want to hear about you. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, what's your day job, that sort of thing?
So I am a touring musician. I play in a band. So I'm gone basically 8 to 9 months out of the entire year.
Wow.
So affiliate marketing for me is kind of a nice income stream that helps me pay for things like credit cards, card payments, auto insurance, and just as it's growing, I'm seeing that it's not just a side thing. It's an actual business.
Cool. All right. That's actually really cool. There's all sorts of different professions. I don't know any touring musicians myself, so that's pretty cool. Where are you from, by the way?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, and you're based out of there, and then you're just on the road most of the time.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. Are there any super awesome things about being on the road?
I mean, besides not getting a lot of sleep, you get to see all the cities. You get to go out to cool bars and get to experience the local. You're a big beer fan.
Yeah.
So it's you get to go and they'll give you a free case of whatever local beer is there at every show. So yeah.
Pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I guess did you go to university, college, or anything, or did you?
Yeah, I did go to University of Wisconsin, and I got I didn't actually graduate. That's the thing. I went into touring hard,
Okay.
And I dropped out my 4th year.
Gotcha. What were you studying, just out of curiosity?
Music, bachelor music.
Oh, okay. So it's
same kind of thing.
Yeah, you may as well.
I don't have the piece of paper.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Do you happen to remember when you first heard about internet marketing or niche sites or anything like that?
Yeah, I was in college, and I don't know how I got onto it, but I got into the Warrior Forum and just started reading everything on there. And really the whole idea of this, this timeline that we're talking about in the last 6 months, it didn't click until this year. So all those years, it's been 5-6 years, nothing, I never went for it.
Right.
It was always let me spend 2 months on this, give up, 6 months goes down the line, try again, fail, try again, fail. Cause I never gave it my all.
Right. Interesting. And I know, I hear, I didn't get started on this stuff until 4 years ago, something like that. I guess almost 5 years ago. Wow, time's flying by. But I was going to say, I hear the Warrior Forum was a little better back then. I mean, I feel whatever I see from the Warrior Forum now is just some big JV push to get out some product. And then it's all the same people. selling the same stuff that doesn't work. So you kept at it, and I want to emphasize this. So you're doing a 6-month push over the last little bit here. You're seeing great results, but you had like, a couple years or like 4 years or so of background in it. You were trying stuff for a while, so you just didn't roll.
Yeah, none of that stuff I was really passionate about. And I actually started this blog in 2016.
Okay.
And I just published, 10 articles or something on it. And they were terrible, mind you. Later in that next year, I got my first sale. So then it was like, oh, okay, I get it. I just have to go in and improve and just keep working at this. And this is fun to me because I'm actually passionate about the topic.
Gotcha. So, and I just want to make sure I heard that right. So you started the blog in like 2016, and then you got your first sale like a year later or so.
Right, exactly.
Okay. A year goes by, you kind of do some stuff, you make a sale, and then it sounds like almost a year passed. So like, what was going on? How'd you get to the 6-month push of what was happening?
October of last year was when I noticed that I had one article, which is actually surprisingly KGR compliant now that I look at it. It ranked, it was like number 3 for the search term. Then I started seeing a lot more traffic. I started seeing, 30 people a day just to this one post. By the end of 2017, I only made $190, but it was still, that could pay for a cell phone bill or a car payment.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's real money once, you pull it all together. So, and you alluded to it just now. If people don't know what the KGR is, it's the keyword golden ratio. From our conversation before, I know, obviously, and what you just said, the site took a while to get started, and I know the KGR, keyword golden ratio, played a role. So can you talk about like when you heard about the keyword golden ratio and how you've applied it and that sort of thing?
Well, I first heard about it, I would say probably 2 months ago, when you initially had made videos on it, a lot of them, and I only found your channel because I was searching on whether or not I should buy a PBN, and thankfully I didn't, because I don't want to go down that road.
Sure.
But so about 2 months ago, I found the KGR, and I think maybe out of my total 50 or 60 posts that I have on my site, I'd say maybe 30 of them are KGR, and the other percentage of them are either like just big informational posts that I'm passionate about, like I guess just like top 10. Like I'm going for like big search volumes.
Sure, cool. And okay, so I just want to mention that again to summarize. So you said about half you got about 60 posts on your site.
Yeah.
Okay, about half of them are KGR compliant. Okay. And everyone, I want to emphasize this again, like triple emphasize it. So you only have like 60 articles, only about 30 of them are like intentionally monetizable with affiliate reviews. And then, is that right? Or are there KGR and mixed in?
Yeah. So some of the KGRs even are just informational posts.
Okay. But the overall point is $1,500. You're on a growth curve, and we could talk about, so I have the details in front of me, so I'll mention it in a second. But basically you're on a good trajectory. You don't have a crazy amount of content. I mentioned a case study where I published a whole lot of content and it was really good, but you don't have to do that off the bat. So I'm going to just mention your earnings. January of 2018, $128, February, $220, March, $343, April, $587, and May, $1,550. So like that is moving up. And when you hear the actual, the graph looks cool that I'm looking at, but like when you hear the actual numbers, you're like, wow, that's really growing a lot. So that is a decent amount of content, Nick. So do you write the content yourself, or do you have writers? How's that work for you?
So as far as writing the content goes, I write a good amount of it, and I author it depending on whether or not it's like a super personal kind of post. I'll author it as myself. Or if it's kind of like a general review post, I have a pseudonym that I use. And then I also do hire writers on Upwork, who I do a little bit more of an extensive review interview process, just to make sure whoever I'm working with, A, I want to pay them well, and B, I want them to be passionate and familiar with the topics that they're going to be writing about.
Got it. So can you tell me about your interview process and like kind of how you deal with that? Because in general, I'm getting like almost anyone that could like write okay and do some research. But of course, sometimes you need like someone with that inside knowledge, or they know what you're talking about. So it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm noticing a lot of people when they send me a cover letter, they're telling me they're university students and they're studying, the particular topic, or they're familiar with it. They're super passionate about it. It's a hobby of theirs. Okay. That to me is like a great indicator of like, okay, this person might be a good candidate.
Cool. And then from there, do you actually talk to him on the phone, or do you just have some back and forth?
Right now, maybe I should venture into that, but as right now, we just do the messaging system.
Cool. Okay. And that's easy enough, just in general. It sounds like it's working well. How many people have you hired?
I have about 5.
Cool. And what are you paying them if you can share it?
Low is 15 per 1,000 words, and then as I've paid 35 too.
Okay. Cool. So it's
between there.
It's a decent range, I'd say. A lot of times I'll pay in that $15 range for 1,000 words, and I haven't paid that high just in general. I've gotten
a smaller
close.
Amount.
Yeah.
Than normal.
About link building, a lot of people, they just want to apply the keyword golden ratio, never build any links, never do anything. Do you do any link building, or what's your situation on that?
I did go around to a couple, blogs in my niche. I did do some blog commenting and leave some, good content for them to respond to, but I haven't done too much link building. It's pretty much just all organic.
Cool. And it's really interesting because the keyword golden ratio works really well to bring the right traffic. And I mean, you're not getting a crazy amount of traffic. You have great earnings. So it seems like a really good sort of niche with a price range of the products.
I have one thing to note on that too is everybody in this niche, I'm finding none of them have backlinks. So all of the competition is actually pretty easy to outrank.
How about that? Okay. But it's interesting, a couple of things. One, it sounds like you have good content. You have qualified people writing for it. So even though there's not many backlinks, like a person would have to bring their A game. Like you're passionate about the topic, so you're able to make sure like good content is published. And that, so it's sort of defensible in that way because it wouldn't rank if, it wasn't good content. Interesting. So that's kind of crazy that you found a niche that, you're passionate about, and it just happened to be something where people don't build backlinks. They're passionate about it and they write about it. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple people in the niche that they are using PBNs, and I mean, I can see them, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Right. Yeah. It's a pain.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. So on your site, like sort of on page sort of stuff, do you use like tables and native ads, buttons, stuff like that?
I do use AAWP, and that's about it. I do use tables too.
Okay. Awesome. And then do you have any tips for like creating tables? Do you like that plugin a lot, or?
So I initially used to use TablePress, and I just found that the way you have to use HTML inside of it, like you have to drag the little boxes and try to type in them.
It's terrible.
Not easy to use. And I since saw you were talking about using like an HTML generator, table generator, and I haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you're using AAWP does tables for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. I've been emailing with the developer over there. It seems like a great plugin, and they've been updating it over time, really improving. So, okay. And I guess, that takes care of your calls to action, just anything you need to do to put links in. That's what you do.
Yeah. It's much faster when I'm trying to add like a product box or something.
Okay.
I just type Amazon box code done, and it's all set.
And do you have so you have some writers that help you out? Do you draft everything yourself? Once you get from the writers?
I'm the content manager, if you will.
Okay.
Cool. And editor.
Most of the time when we hear these case studies, you just see like the headline, right? It's like Nick. He's making $1,500 a month, and he's on the road all the time. He's having the time of his life. Free beer, like it just sounds like some kind of fairy tale story. But a lot of times there are mistakes in the background. So, do you have any mistakes that you could share?
Yeah, I have 2, and the first one is, and this led to a great increase in my rankings after I fixed this problem. But I was intentionally stuffing the articles like overboard with the keyword, and I didn't even realize it. The content was long enough that I thought, well, I can use it in this sentence. It was fine, but it wasn't. So as soon as I went back in removed a bunch of those keywords, the rankings just, I mean, I went to page 1.
No way. So
You
like,
know?
do you have some guidelines on the sort of keyword density that you use?
Sure. It's very tedious. What you have to do is you have to check out page 1 on that keyword and go to all the people that you're trying to beat. And you have to just, press the find, go to find and type that keyword in and see how many times you see that keyword pop up. And you want to figure out how long their content is. It's tedious, but if you can find that ratio that other people are ranking for, you should be able to slide in there.
Yes. And this is a super common question, like how often should I use a keyword? The answer is it depends, because you have to go look and see what Google likes, see what the users like, and that's the way to do it. You could use a tool called SEO Quake and just check each one individually. It'll give you the density and all that stuff, but that's really cool. So you made the changes and then you just shot up like in a week or something.
I'm watching it in a week. It happens.
That's really cool. Yeah. All right. So that was mistake number 1, which you fixed.
Mistake number 2. So everyone gets a little obsessed with picking out the right theme. You've heard this question a million times.
Yeah.
And I was too. So I was at a point where I was trying to pick out a new theme. And I did have an intention of buying this particular theme, but I did use a cracked theme on my website. And little did I know there was malicious code embedded into the cracked theme.
Oh, man.
And it just ripped my whole website apart. It had malware. It had all this stuff on it. I asked you in chat one day. I said, hey, Doug, do you ever have malware problems? No, it's just I was an idiot.
Gotcha. So
don't ever do that.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's probably a thing, because I know
it's a nightmare.
Interesting. So how did you get rid of the malware and stuff?
Fortunately, it was a pretty common one. So I just searched like what was happening, and there was a nice, post about how to get rid of it. And so I bought some good security now. So,
and you paid for a theme. So,
yeah.
Okay, cool. And by the way, do you have any tips for like themes or anything like that? Since you were thinking about it,
yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I originally had purchased a theme builder called Divi. And I found that it slowed down my site so much, and I didn't understand like why it was slowing it down. Like I didn't realize what kind of scripts or things were. I'm not like a coder, so
yeah.
I just ditched that theme and I went to a much simpler one. It looks great to me, So yeah. I say just stick with simple. You'll be way better off.
Cool. And was it a paid theme?
Yes.
Okay. And I was going to say, I'm looking at it. It looks good to me. Just overall simple, straightforward. No one else could see it, but just trust me. It looks good. What do you put on the home page? Some people were just asking about that the other day.
I don't really know what the best practice is, but I kind of just have like a post slider up top. It's kind of standard with most themes. And then it just displays like the recent posts in a category, in each category.
Okay. And I mean, usually as long as it's not too overwhelming, like some people just have like 1,000 links on, or not 1,000, but they'll have like 40 posts on there, and it's too much.
Yep.
So simple. All right, cool. Nick, do you have any questions for me?
Doug, do you have any rules as far as internal linking goes? Like, is it a bad strategy or a bad practice rather to use like the exact keyword when you're just internal linking? Because I know if you do it from an external link, I guess that's bad now.
So a couple things. If you go and like do some research, and actually Ahrefs has a more recent case study on like anchor text ratios, you'll find that you can actually be a little bit aggressive in sites that rank number 1. Often they'll have like 15 or 20% like exact match, or something like very highly correlating to a partial match. So you can get away with more than what we think, because a lot of times our information is from people that do gray hat. Not always, but depending on the circles you hang out with.
Right.
And they may say you only want to have like 1% exact match. That's actually really low. And if you have on my niche site project, I don't really do much link building. And if I look at links that I didn't do any guest posts for, I'll often see that they're using like the exact match thing because it's the most relevant anchor text they can use. So that said, it's not necessarily bad to have external links that are exact match anchor text. You just have to kind of keep an eye and make sure you have a decent distribution. If you're not doing any link building at all, then of course that is natural. And I mean, you may want to keep an eye on it just in case. Right. But as far as internal on your site, you can actually be fairly aggressive. Now, the thing you have to look at, and I don't talk about this much, I believe there's sort of like multiple factors involved. So let's say the post that you're trying to rank has like the keyword in the title, and then it has the keyword in the URL structure, so the post name or whatever, and then you have the anchor text, and they're all exact match. Like, I feel like there's a compounding effect when you stack all those on top of each other. So for example, you could probably get away with more if you had a different URL structure that wasn't as keyword rich or something like that. Maybe it's just a little shorter. But if you stack all those three on top of each other and you have some external links that also have that same anchor text, that could be a little much. Now, the good part is if it's on your site, you can put the links in, put the exact match in if you want, see what happens, and then adjust it later. What I usually do like a longer phrase that's a partial match. That way, like, it's just very conservative, and if I do have some external exact match anchor text coming in, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Those are good, strong links, hopefully, from other sites. So less is more, but on your own site, you can test it and just see what happens and then adjust it later.
Yeah, that's another thing. When you say less is more, like, I've been going back in and just removing affiliate links because I cringe when I go back and look at some of the old stuff. I mean, it was just littered with links.
Right. And I think a lot of people go overboard, especially it's easy to do when, you have all like these table plugins or other ways to put in links, and you're like, well, I'll put in a feature box, and each feature box has like 3 to 4 links in there. And then you have a table. Let's say you have 10 products. Actually, I audited someone's site the other week, and basically it was like, 10 products. Each one of those products in the table had 3 affiliate links. It was like the name, the image, and a button. And I was like, man, like, that's a ton of links. You got to get those out. So to wrap it up, Nick, do you have any advice for people that maybe are just getting started? Maybe they don't have a site yet. What can you tell them?
I would say if you're interested in kind of getting into the whole affiliate marketing thing, first of all, you have to pick something that you're going to want to continue to do. So like you have to be passionate about it. I mean, you don't have to be passionate to the point where it's like your favorite thing in the world, but you have to, have enough love for it that you're going to want to wake up every day and like, okay, today I'm going to work, an hour on this. Next day I'm gonna work an hour, even if it's like after your job and you just get home and it's just a little side project you're working on is your website. As long as you are having fun while you're doing it, I think it'll be more enjoyable for you, first of all, and you'll have much better results too. Because once I started thinking about stuff that way, like in the beginning when I started my blog, I wasn't even thinking about affiliate.
Right.
That's really what made my site move, was just really being passionate.
Awesome. Really good advice. Well, thanks, Nick. Really appreciate you coming on, spending some time. And if you're up for it, maybe in a couple months, we can get an update from you.
Absolutely.
And, everyone, if you have questions for Nick, he watches a lot of the YouTube videos. So leave your questions in the comments. Let us know. And if you want to get an update from Nick, do let us know as well. So really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks, Doug.
See ya. All right, thanks, Nick. Really appreciate you spending the time with me and the Niche Site Project audience. If people have questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I know Nick takes a look at a lot of the comments and a lot of the videos, so I'm pretty sure he'll be able to add his 2 cents in. And if you want to get an update from him in a couple months, please do let us know in the comments so I can bug Nick to tell him, hey, we want an update. All right, thanks a lot.